Hi there, I am Holly McDonald. I am a realtor here in Orange County, California, and I am here to give you some information about what it takes to buy a home and what the market's doing. So, one of the biggest questions I get, and one of the things that I think a lot of people need to know about, is that when you are looking to buy a home, where should you start? So a lot of people will start online. They'll start looking at homes online and they'll get the bug and maybe they'll pop by an open house or two. And that is so exciting. And I've done it myself. I understand. That is a great place to get your feet wet. But really, truly, if you are serious about making home ownership a goal, the first thing that you really need to do is you need to get pre-approved by a lender. If you're getting a loan, that is. The thing is that when you're using someone else's money and they're calling the shots essentially on what you can qualify for, you need to know what you can qualify for. And the good news is there are so many options out there, and it is worth your while to look around a little bit and find out what your options are and really educate yourself. You might think the easiest route would be to just go to your bank and get a pre-approval, and that is certainly an option. You know, the banks can certainly do home loans. But there are a lot of other lenders out there and they have a lot of different options to bring to the table. So for example, if you have been in the military, maybe you want to look into a VA loan because there are some great benefits that you receive from that. If you're a first-time buyer, there are some awesome first-time home buyer programs and incentives out there. And then, suppose you're in a specific field. If you're a doctor or you're a police officer, there are some amazing programs for people in specific fields that really benefit them. And, you might as well enjoy the fruit of your labors and take advantage of these because they can truly help you in the long run with homeownership. So different lenders have different options. It's not one size fits all. It is worth your while to get some recommendations for some awesome lenders. I've got many I can share with you. And if I know a little bit more about your situation, I can certainly point you in the right direction. I'm always tracking what the lenders are able to offer. And in some cases, there are just going to be different scenarios that work better for you. And for example, if you're self-employed, lenders are going to look at that differently than if you are a regular salaried employee, and there might be some better programs out there for you. Things are constantly changing, so it's really good to stay up on top of this and explore your options. Also, the interest rates are changing all the time. So it's really important to find out what sort of rates are being offered. And sometimes the lowest rate is not always the best. Sometimes you get a low rate, but you get a ton of fees or you have to pay a ton of points. And you don't even know what that means. It's really important to do your homework here. And to get a pre-approval, it is a commitment. And I know people don't like commitment, but it's critical. I mean, you are looking at probably one of the largest purchases in your life. So you got to take it seriously. So there's a lot to gather. And I know it's not fun, but ultimately it is so worth it. Because once you know exactly what you can qualify for, you can either take the next step forward and find homes that meet those price criteria, or you can take a step back, reevaluate, get your ducks in a row so that you are ready to buy when the time comes and you know exactly what your game plan is to make that a reality. I think once you have an idea of what it takes to get a home, the more likely you are to work toward that goal. But when you are aimless, it's so hard to make that reality. And my goal here is for people to understand what their options are. I find a lot of people are so paralyzed, they don't even know where to start. And there's so much information out there. But truthfully, the first step is so easy. You let someone else help you figure out what you can afford. And then from there, it is so much easier to narrow down what areas to look in, what type of homes to consider. The good news is there are paths to home ownership, and it's great if you can get in and take advantage of these options. So another thing I want to mention is that starting in August of 2024, buyers are going to be obligated to sign agreements with their buyer's agents before they even tour a house. So what that means is on these agreements, it's going to lay out what the buyers are responsible for compensating their agent for. This is way different from how it has been done in the past. But it's also very transparent because now you'll know if you're going to owe your agent anything, how much that is, and you can factor that into all of the budgeting. That's going to play a huge role in how much house you can afford because you're going to need to know that you have enough for your mortgage, for your down payment, for your taxes, for your broker fee. And some of these fees can hopefully, end up being negotiated through part of the deal. But upfront, you're going to need to know what that obligation is and make sure that you can afford it. So it's such a good idea to know that you're not wasting your time or anyone else's time looking at homes that you ultimately can't afford to buy. We want to make sure that you are in a position that you are buying a home that you can afford and that you're not going to end up in a position where you're struggling. Like the whole point of owning a home is to help build your wealth, feel protected, feel safe. And nobody wants to be in a position where they don't feel that way. So it's so important to have your finances looked at really carefully and understand what your monthly obligation is going to be and not feel so stretched that, at any month, like any sort of emergency could make it just a hardship for you to even be in your home. I don't want that for you. You don't want that for you. So, finding out what you can qualify for is really, truly the most important. I can't stress it enough. The most important first step you can take in getting a home. I have plenty of lender contacts. I think it is so good to talk to more than one. I think it is so great to explore your options and hear what they have to say. And honestly, for the couple of months or so that you're in the relationship of searching for homes, writing offers, going through the loan process, you really do want to feel supported. You want to feel like you have people on your side as a team communicating with you effectively. So you want to have a good rapport and vibe with your lender. That's really important. Sometimes it doesn't just come down to interest rate or funds. However, like I said before, the lowest rate is not always going to be the best loan anyway. You really need to look carefully and really ask questions about what all of these numbers mean. You might be shown a low interest rate and be like, low interest rate, but you might also see that there are points involved. And what does that mean? Well, that might mean you're coming out of pocket extra money to buy this interest rate down up front. And in some cases, that's great. And in other cases, do the math. It may not work for you. It may not be beneficial, especially if you're only going to be in the home, hopefully for a short time, if it's a short-term plan for you. There are just a lot of options out there. And there are some other cool loan programs that I won't go into right here. But if you want to send me some information on what your situation looks like, I can have some lenders I work with give you some really cool options, because some of the options out there, you won't even believe how beneficial they are. And you can really use them to your benefit. So if you're looking to buy a home and you're thinking like, this is the year or this is the time, I really need to, my rent's going up, I'm tired of it, or I really want to like plant some roots. I really want to be able to paint my walls and not have to worry about painting them back, or I really want to update something, then buying a home is definitely something that you should consider. And finding out how you can make that possible really truly starts with finding out what you can qualify for. So if you're looking to move into the Orange County area and would like some more information about the areas, the lenders, the types of homes, different fees and taxes and mellow roofs and extra fees that you may not have even thought about and don't even know exist, I'm your source for that information. And I would love to connect with you and help you sort all of that out so that ultimately you can find a home that works for you, your family, makes you feel safe, secure, and at home. So please subscribe, please message me anytime, and I'm here for you. Thanks so much.